What's up everyone, it is Dylan from Class 1A bringing you another My Hero Academia Vigilantes chapter breakdown. This week we have chapter 118, All the Fun. It's not actually fun. We kick off the chapter back in the Crawler vs. number 6 fight, where AFO is observing Koichi. He remarks on just how simple yet cleverly applied his quirk is. Yet, at the end of the day, the quirk is kinda mid. Or so he thought. Okay, so just as a reminder where we're at with AFO here. So we meet him originally in season 1 when he's in Dr. Ujiko's lab, which is why at this point he has all the different wires coming out of him in this form. So he's not literally there. This is just kind of like a representation of what he's observing because he's psychically linked to number 6 through some weird quirk manipulation that he has. He has a ton of quirks. There is some sort of interfacing that he has with them, so you can kind of see what's going on here, but this is just a vestige representation. So just as a recap of where we're at with him, Koichi is giving number 6 the business with his massive attacks, but he keeps hitting the body so he can just buy time and not actually hurt him. Okay, this is just really weird and strange behavior. I think he's already gotten sign off from Pop, which that was his biggest hang up here, is he didn't want to hurt the villain because he did a really strong attack, and Pop saw it and was like, hey, you need to not do that anymore. So it's just kind of strange behavior that he's not attacking this villain who's the big bad evil guy at this point. And then Koichi starts to feel better than ever. Though he has a ton of near-death injuries, he's operating at peak levels. Red flag, red flag, red flag. I cannot stress this enough. Huge red flags. This is not good in any way. And then AFO starts to really see Koichi's quirk for more than what it is. That there's so much more than what's on the surface. So he's just talking about how all this power seems to come from really nowhere. There's something beyond what we're seeing here where the power comes, and that he was just concealing the true nature of his quirk, which we're going to put a pin in that and talk about it in a little bit. As Koichi is flying through the air, he begins to think back at his life. How as a kid, he was always the one having fun past when others went home. Always the one holding on for just a bit too long. Okay, again, major flag here. He's seeing his life flash before his eyes while talking about holding on for too long. It's very obvious. The flag is being waved in our face at this point. We end the chapter with a smiling Koichi falling, a number 6 punch coming, and the Crawler saying that today is the day that the dream comes to an end. Okay, there's just way too many flags to not talk about it here. So he had all these grave injuries, and then he just starts rallying all of a sudden and performing at peak levels. He's seeing all of his friends again. He's going out, defeating a villain who, without him, would have destroyed the city and done massive damage. This is bad. This is just very bad. Him talking about holding on for too long when others, wouldn't be holding on here. A lot of really red flags showing up. I don't know how Koichi kind of gets out of this one. Now, what I did think was really interesting was AFO talking about Koichi's quirk. Why kind of bring that up now? Why talk about how his quirk isn't all that good, but he's pulling all this power and kind of alluding at some power coming from nowhere? So I have two schools of thought of what it could be. So one, just surface level, yeah, his quirk is more than meets the eye, and his need or his want to be a hero kind of pulls all this extra power out on in addition to being near death. That totally makes sense. Or it's talking about his quirk not being what we think it is, on there could be something else a little bit deeper, but why bring that up in the story now? I mean, him having his quirk be a lot more than what we actually think it is would make the story make a lot more sense on why he just has these quirk evolutions, why he's able to adapt so quickly and become so strong out of nowhere. But just weird to bring it up here when we think everything's kind of coming to an end. Okay, so now is usually when I say what I think is coming next, but I don't want to. I don't want to do it. I don't want to say what's coming next because I'm not going to like it. You're not going to like it. Nobody's going to like it. I don't think Koichi makes it through this. I don't think he makes it through this. I think we're seeing just way too many red flags at this point. It's too much to not look at. And I might be hopped up on way too many levels of copium here. But I do think there is a chance out. There is a slim chance for him out of this. So why would AFO be talking about Koichi's quirk at this point? Why bring up all of a sudden that there might be something deeper on the surface right when Koichi feels like he's about to die and all these flags are coming up? I think that might be connected. I think they might be trying to set up something to justify Koichi being near death, gonna come back at the end. So I think they might be setting up something with his quirk to be like, okay, well, here's actually how he got through it. Here's how he was able to be revitalized, or how he was not able to die, even though he was basically on death's door at this point. So there might be something there, but yeah, like I said, who knows? I might be on too much copium at this point. And I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying this, but like literally on the edge of my seat at this point. Like the way that Furuhashi is able to like draw out this tension and like constantly build it up chapter after chapter after chapter has been like a literal marvel to see. And I'm so incredibly excited for what comes next. Now, the next chapter comes out in 3 weeks, which gives us an extra week more than we usually have, so there might be something big coming up, but they actually do this sometimes, like just the way that the weeks kind of fall. I think it's like on the 2nd and 4th Friday of the month, I think is when it's actually released, here in America at least, and I think the way that the days fall, sometimes it just bumps it an extra week than we normally see. So that could be it, or we could actually get something pretty big next chapter. But I guess we will find out then. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next class.